He was leaning on his rake in the immaculate garden of the ostentatious $5 million log cabin mansion of a real estate tycoon from the North Shore of Boston, between a blooming witch hazel and a green rhododendron, and tipping back his ball cap in a brief break from work that I more or less made him take in the western Oxford County foothills of the White Mountains, on the lane along the shore of the lake named for the northwest wind, Keewaydin, in the Hiawatha of Longfellow that caused a sensation in the late 19th century among the genteel population, when I said to him, Dan Barker, on my way back to the house from a run around the lake, summarizing everything he'd made the mistake of telling me, and nodding east 18 miles toward the contiguous towns of South Paris and Norway, that he probably hadn't needed to know 40-some years ago to pass humanities or Maine history, to graduate with honors from Freiburg Academy, and to teach music for many years at the Oxford Hills High School, while indulging interests in art and culture that would make him an accessory to a famous artist's legacy, and even earn him credit on labels in the first room of that artist's retrospective exhibition that I first saw on a solo excursion in New York City at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and then again later with Rebecca and our good friend Judith at the Colby Museum in Waterville, that Marsden Hartley, the modernist painter, born to British parents, who grew up in Lewiston, 40 miles northeast of here, over there, beyond Oxford Plains and Mechanics Falls, with the children of French Canadians who worked in the textile mills in what is now among the largest communities of Somalian refugees in the nation, spent at least one, if not several, seminal summers here in the 1900s, living among the stoic locals and dilettantes from Boston. A gangly, odd, homely young introvert who wore, they said, no matter how hot, a long dark coat and who knows what, sleeping in a shack in a field on Hutt Road, over in the vicinity of North Lovell and West Stoneham, that I was pivoting in the general direction of now. A dedicated loner painting in oils the most prominent features of the landscape along the Maine-New Hampshire border that we see from turns in the road a few miles south of here, depicting under oddly cheerful solid white cumulus clouds and surprisingly bold colors in paintings that applied the post-impressionist style of Paul Cézanne in southern France to the landscape of New England, that put him in the company of Georgia O'Keeffe and Arthur Dove, the vertical cleft of Miles Notch, and its cliff to the right, the minor bumps of Durgan and Butters Mountains on the Red Rock Ridge horizon, and his very own Mont Sainte-Victoire, speckled mountain on the left, just as all appears in the paintings, with a cove of Keyser Lake, bold and blue, in the lower left foreground. For once, a Maine artist who wasn't from away, who wasn't from Boston, New York, or Philly, say, and who also wasn't so exclusively attached to the coastline of the ocean, like Winslow Homer at Prout's Neck, Edward Hopper on Monhegan Island, or Andrew Wyeth in Cushing, by which time Dan, no longer nodding in assent, cracking a quiet grin or pushing back the brim of his ball cap to wipe sweat from his brow, would have been putting the tines of his rake to the gravel to continue corrugating the path of the real estate tycoon down to the shore of the lake. Okay. Oh no. All right.